100% behind Jimmy. And Jimmy, come tell the folks why you're going to win.
All right.
Well, I'm glad Larry has such a great sense of humor about the 65-year-old gray-haired guy, Ada County lawyer. I actually use that quite often when I'm out on the trail. I always say, you know, I've got the ability to appeal to a demographic that a guy like, say, Larry Grant could never appeal to. You know, so he has a great sense of humor about that, and I appreciate that. But thank you guys all for being here. You know, it's a beautiful day outside, and you guys could be anywhere. And you've chosen to be here with me and with us, and I really appreciate that. I want to start by thanking my team. Tony Sutton has been wonderful for me. Jill Kurtz, Dave Shepler, Chantel Fox, Beverly Sherman, John Hart, everybody that's worked on my campaign and on my team that has sacrificed so much, have been dedicated and committed to me and to what we like to call Team Farris. It's really an honor for me to have them on my team, and so I thank all of you guys. Would you guys please just give my team a round of applause? I also want to thank the Idaho Democratic Party for putting this on. I see Dean Ferguson in the background. Dean has contributed a lot to my campaign as well, and so I appreciate that. And thank you guys for putting on this wonderful, wonderful event. And again, like I said, I'm very grateful to be here. As I've gone along these last 7-8 months of the campaign, I've had an opportunity to think back a lot on my life and think about my journey, all the things that I've done to get me to this point, to be here speaking to you fine people today. And I can't look back on that journey without recalling many, many memories from my NFL career. I remember when I was a rookie with the 49ers on the practice squad, and people are confused sometimes about what the practice squad is, but in short, the main difference is you're a part of the team, you practice every day, you do everything that the team does, but you don't get to play in the games on Sunday, and you make slightly less money. That's the main difference, is that you're making slightly less money. But it's a great job, but ultimately it's not where you want to be as an NFL player. So I went about the task of working every day to prove to the coaches that I was worthy, that I was good enough to play on Sundays. I worked my tail off, and I wanted to show them that I deserved that, and I wanted to ultimately get what I deserved. I'm a person who believes that you get out of something what you put into it, and I think that's important. I think if you work hard, you'll see the benefits of that hard work, and as I said, you'll ultimately will get what you deserve. Every day in the weight room and on the practice field, I kept telling myself, keep working, keep doing what you're doing, and it's going to happen. Well, a few months went by, and I got a call from the Patriots. One day, they just called me out of the blue as I was walking off the practice field, and they said, hey, we've heard a lot of good things about you. We know you've been working hard, and we'd like to know if you would like to be a member of the New England Patriots. And of course, I said yes, and went home and packed up my apartment and packed up my vehicle, caught a red-eye flight to Boston, and the next day I was on the practice field with the New England Patriots. Ultimately, it was one of the best decisions that I'd ever made. We went on to win the Super Bowl, and I achieved a lifelong dream of not only just playing in the NFL, but winning the Super Bowl in my rookie year. So it was a great decision. After the Super Bowl, when things finally settled down, I had a chance to reflect on everything that had happened over the last year. And I remember telling myself, you know, hard work really does pay off. And for me, hard work met with opportunity. And I got what I deserved. I'd gotten what I'd worked for. I was very fortunate, to say the least. As I got a little bit older, I came to understand that we don't always get what we deserve in life. Oftentimes, in fact, we get much less than we deserve. Things are not always as they should be. Sometimes we deserve better than what we're getting. Take yourselves for an example. Idahoans. Take all Idahoans, not just Democrats, Republicans, Independents, everybody. Let's look at what we're currently getting and then decide if we think this is what we deserve. We're 49th in the nation in per capita income, 47th in education. We rank in the bottom third for the completion of an associate's degree or higher. We're in the bottom third for the number of young adults enrolled in colleges or universities. Idaho has one of the highest uninsured rates in the country, 13th highest enrollment in the food stamp program. This is what we're currently getting. And I say that we deserve better. For the last few years, For the last few years, we've repeatedly heard Idaho officials brag about Idaho being one of the reddest states in the country. They talk about how red it is around here and how great that is. And I'd agree, we definitely are in the red here. We are, in fact, in the red. Things are very red. Idaho schools, they're in the red. The 1 in 4 kids in our public schools are in the red. Our workers who are out of work looking for jobs, they're in the red. Idaho's infrastructure is in the red. The nearly 20% of Idaho residents who are uninsured, they are absolutely in the red. Things are definitely in the red in Idaho. But we know that's not something to brag about. That's not the American dream. That is not where we want to be or where we deserve to be. I think we deserve better. My opponent, Congressman Labrador, disagrees. He thinks things are just fine. In fact, he's taken steps to actually make them worse. He's voted continuously to make massive cuts to education, massive cuts to Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security, programs that our seniors and middle-class families depend on. Voted to give big tax breaks to oil companies, and then voted to massively cut funding for alternative energy programs, things that we do right here in Idaho. He voted to cut jobs in Idaho, not create them, destroy Idaho's education, not make it better. He's voted to give our children a dimmer future, not a brighter one. He's voted to make life for our seniors more difficult, not easier. Is this what we deserve? No. I agree. I say no. If you'll stand with me and support me over these next 5 months, we can get Idaho out of the red, build a bigger, better, stronger Idaho, the kind of Idaho that we all deserve. I think everyone agrees this is going to be a tough campaign. It's not going to be long before my opponent begins to run ads against me and tries to frame the debate around my lack of experience. They'll point to the fact that I've never held public office, that I have no experience in government, that I have no record. They'll talk about how I've never been involved in politics in any way. My response to that will be a simple, good, I'm glad. I'm glad I don't have experience contributing to a $2 trillion increase in the national debt like he has. I'm glad I don't have experience gutting jobs, gutting education and killing jobs like he has. I'm glad I haven't contributed to record low approval ratings in Congress like he has. I'm glad I haven't been one of the main causes of a credit downgrade, the first in our nation's history, like he has. I'm glad I haven't been a key cause of the partisanship and gridlock in Congress, the worst that this country has ever seen, like he has. I'm glad I don't have a record, and I'm certainly glad I don't have his record. See, as former President Bill Clinton once said, you can have the right kind of experience and you can have the wrong kind of experience. Mine is rooted in real life experiences, in working together with people from different backgrounds, different opinions, and being able to lead those people together for a common purpose. That is my experience. That's the kind of experience we need to get Idaho and this country back on the right track. And that's what this campaign really is all about. It's about bringing people together, not dividing them. It's about being a part of a team, not being a self-centered one-man show. It's about the future of this coming generation, not the past. We have a chance right now to be at the forefront of a new generation in politics, made up not just of Democrats, but of independents and Republicans who are tired of politics as usual and who have lost faith in their leaders in Washington. A new generation who wants to believe again. We need new representation in Idaho. People who don't just want to talk about fixing the problems, but people who actually want to go back to D.C. and work to find solutions. We need real leadership, not salesmanship, like we're getting from Congressman Labrador. We hear him continually talk about cutting spending and talk about all the things that we can't afford. But he never puts forth a plan or a vision or does anything. He just talks. But since Congressman Labrador wants to talk about what we can't afford, let's talk about it. What we can't afford are 2 more years of his division and gridlock in Washington that he's causing, that's more about scoring political points than it is about solving problems. What we can't afford are 2 more years of him seeking only to tear the other party down instead of lifting up this state and this country. We can no longer afford Congressman Labrador, and we can't afford to allow Idaho to continue operating in the red. We need a new approach and a new vision. That's what I will bring to Idaho as your elected congressman from the 1st Congressional District. Now, in the NFL, when a team is going to terminate your contract, they do something called putting you on waivers. Basically, it means they found something better. They decided they don't need your services anymore. Well, I say here today, it's time we put Congressman Raul Labrador on waivers. Let's give him a 2-year head start on his run for governor. You give me your hand, give me your help, and give me your support over these next 143 days. Together, we can put Congressman Labrador on waivers, get Idaho out of the red, and usher in the kind of leadership that we all deserve. I thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your time.